Yo guys, what is going on? JPS back for another video, and today we're going to be reacting to Warwick Castle, which is apparently England's greatest castle, which is probably up for debate, like anything. I'm curious, have any of you guys ever visited this castle? And if so, let me know how it was in the comment section below. And also let me know if you visited any other castles and how they compare to Warwick Castle, which we're about to learn about. I'll let you know my opinion on it at the end. But let's get it. If you're new here, hit the like button, hit subscribe, turn the notifications on, and let's go.
Warwick Castle sits on the River Avon as a bastion of power, wealth and grandness. Its history is one which is closely linked to royalty, richness and also darkness.
Like most
Featuring
castles.
some incredible rooms fit for a monarch to visit, and also dungeons which even the most defiant soldier would submit within the dark and dreary walls. It really is one of England's greatest castles. Join us today as we visit the history behind and show you around a fantastic Warwick Castle. Remember, if you do enjoy our videos, please make sure to subscribe. Warwick Castle's history begins with the reign of William the Conqueror, with the first castle appearing on the site. After his victory at the Battle of Hastings in 1066, William needed to consolidate his power in England. He did this by building wooden Motte and Bailey castles, and one of these was built at Warwick. William then appointed the powerful Henry de Beaumont as the constable of the castle. He was then made the first Earl of Warwick. During the next few centuries, the ownership of the castle changed hands a number of times. In 1264, the castle was taken in a surprise attack by Simon de Montfort, the 6th Earl of Leicester. One of the most historic names associated with the castle is the surname Beauchamp, and the Beauchamp family had possession of the castle for over 180 years. Within this time, they added to the castle, expanding to create an imposing and impregnable fortress. In 1312, Piers Gaveston, the favourite and rumoured possible lover of Edward II, was captured by Guy Beauchamp, the 10th Earl of Warwick, and imprisoned in the castle before his execution. Later, under Thomas Beauchamp, the castle grew even more to incorporate a gatehouse, a barbican, and the Caesar and Guy's towers. Stay tuned for a tour around these specific parts of the castle, including the infamous dungeons. In 1449, the line of the Beauchamp Earls ended, and Richard Neville, also known as the Kingmaker, became the next Earl of Warwick. Neville's name would become infamous throughout the War of the Roses, even imprisoning King Edward IV at Warwick at one point, attempting to rule in the king's name. Following the Kingmaker's death at the Battle of Barnet, the castle passed to the Plantagenets, and these two met a rather grisly end. Held by Henry VII, Edward Plantagenet would be held at the Tower of London for 14 years before being executed for conspiring with the Great Pretender, Perkin Warbeck. In the Tudor era, the castle had fallen into a state of decay, and it was visited twice by Queen Elizabeth I. During the English Civil War, it was refortified, and it saw action under the Greville family. The Greville family began to restore and return Warwick to its former glory. During the Gunpowder Plot, the conspirators had even stole horses from the stables to help their escape. The Greville family would become synonymous with Warwick Castle. For centuries, their ownership would transform Warwick into an opulent fortification within the countryside. Under their tenure, the castle would also become a palace fit for royalty, with ornate decor, of which you will see later. During the Victorian times, it became a massive tourist attraction, even visited by Queen Victoria herself. Today, it is definitely one of England's best castles and most visited. This is where we begin our tour.
Here we go, baby.
We previously mentioned the Motte and Bailey castle that once stood at Warwick. The motte was the mound of earth in which the keep, or the castle structure, stood on top of. From the top of the motte, you can really see why William ordered the castle to be built there. The views offer a complete 360-degree view for miles around, and would give one enough time to prepare should an invading force be approaching. The curtain walls at Warwick are extremely thick and huge. These intimidating walls would act as a first means of defence following the moat. They were built to allow archers and crossbowmen to swiftly move around the castle to defend different parts from above, and they do feature many arrow loops and crenellations. Built in the 14th century, the Guy's Tower is a huge and intimidating structure that offers incredible views of Warwick. This tower would have originally been used to accommodate important guests. However, the rooms were sometimes used to house prisoners. In fact, within these walls is some prisoner graffiti. It has 5 stories within this tower, with the fifth being a guard room. During the English Civil War, the windows were modified to allow people to fire handheld cannons. One of the first defences that possible attackers would be greeted by at Warwick would be the Barbican. The exterior wall passage had a drawbridge and extended out into the ditch. Soldiers would then be faced with the inner portcullis. From above, an invader would be peppered with crossbow bolts and arrows, and it would be possible to create a trap, creating a killing zone. From above, terror would rain down from the murder holes, with waste, boiling water and sand being thrown which would get into a soldier's armour. This was a brutal method of defence. Leaving the Barbican along the wall walk, you head towards Caesar's Tower. This was built in the 14th...
Hold on. I got a comment to make. So back here... Wait, let me show you guys what I was thinking. So you see this gate right here? You could... the other entrance, not this entrance, but the one down there. You could basically let them in, or let them, if they penetrate it, let them into this little hallway, and then from above, I'm just imagining this, they pour the sand and they're shooting like just tons of arrows, like there's archers in literally each spot here and here, and then they close this gate so then they can't get out. That's messed up, but I mean, it's war, so it's part of it. But like, I would not want to be down there, I'm gonna be honest. That's the crazy trap.
Terror would rain down armour. This was a brutal method of defence.
Yeah.
This was built in the 14th century and is the tallest tower within the castle. This is a 4-storey tower and houses the infamous jail. The jail at Warwick Castle is extremely infamous. It is incredibly dark and cold within the confines of the jail. It has a single open drain running across the floor, providing the only sanitation.
That's disgusting.
The only light that comes through is from a tiny shaft high on the wall, from which the guards would then watch prisoners. Inside the prison is a number of carvings on the walls of those unfortunate enough to be housed here. Within the dungeon, prisoners would be shackled to the walls and would probably face torture. The most brutal method of them all is the oubliette that's found here. This hole in the ground was simply where a soldier would be left and forgotten, being eaten by rats, or possibly even drowning in water, or dying of starvation. If you haven't already, please check out our video on the oubliette. The Kingmaker Exhibition at Warwick Castle charters the life of Richard Neville, the Kingmaker, and specifically goes into detail about how he would have prepared for a battle. You can see within this a number of different rooms, including a blacksmith's quarters, a wardrobe, and even a garderobe or toilet.
That's crazy.
Richard Neville's connections with the castle and role as a great manipulator of the monarchy has certainly preceded him. The Great Hall inside the main part of the castle is an unbelievably ornate room.
Yo, I want to visit.
This room would have acted as a grand reception room for guests and to house entertainment. Grand dances and frivolity would occur within this space. The Red Drawing Room is a grand chamber and was used as an anteroom, a room in which guests would be received in a grand and opulent manner. Adorning the walls are a number of rich and incredible paintings. Within this room you can certainly get a feel for the opulence and the wealth of the castle's custodian. The next few rooms only have one purpose, purely to entertain and impress guests. The Green Drawing Room functioned as a private gentleman's room for travelling aristocrats to rest and play in. This beautiful room features an incredible ceiling that is inspired by the Temple Bell in Palmyra. Sadly, this temple was destroyed in 2015 by ISIS. The Queen Anne bedroom was given its name following the fact...
ISIS? ISIS really destroyed part of this castle? What the
2015 by ISIS. The Queen Anne bedroom was given its name following the fact that Queen Anne gifted her bed to the suite in 1773. Queen Anne was the last Stuart monarch, and the bed was probably her deathbed. Adorning the walls are incredible tapestries, which show gardens and a medieval palace in extraordinary detail.
This is crazy.
The small yet intimate blue boudoir was redecorated by Daisy Greville. She wanted a room to entertain the ladies, whilst the men would be in the Green Drawing Room enjoying themselves. Inside this room are a number of very famous paintings. The armoury passageway contains a rich number of weapons and pieces of armour, including the sword of Guy Warwick. Allegedly, this armoury is only second to the Tower of London. The chapel in Warwick Castle
is that's
small,
nice,
yet hugely impressive.
Yeah.
It was the meeting place of the Earls of Warwick and their families every Sunday. The stone screen would divide the family from the household staff. In 1995, the ceiling was discovered to have a number of heraldic shields on it. A chapel has been located on this site since the year 1119. Arguably, the most ornate and impressive room in the whole castle is the state dining room. With paintings of monarchs, including Charles I, adorning the walls, this room has hosted some incredible dinner parties and esteemed guests, including Queen Victoria and Prince Albert. In 1996, even Queen Elizabeth II had lunch in this room.
Damn.
The huge chandelier, marble fireplace, and vast amounts of artwork show off the incredible wealth of the castle's owner. There is even more to the castle. However, at a later date, we will show you the remaining part of the castle, including the Royal Victorian Weekend Exhibition, the ornate bedrooms upstairs, and the incredible mill and conservatory, complete with the fantastic gardens. We really hope you enjoyed this video.
We gotta check out part 2, since he wants to tease us. I'm trying to see the gardens, but hey, listen guys, I mean this so genuinely when I say it. Like, I really, really want to visit this. Like, it's just, where do you find a place where the history is so rich? That's crazy. You can really, like, it's crazy because you can look just into one of those rooms, or even into like the prisoner, like the jail or whatever, and you can kind of just, this image in your head shows up of how it really was back then. You know what I mean? Like how life was. That's just crazy. But apparently ISIS destroyed part of it. I'm gonna need you guys to let me know about that. I do not know anything about that. But anyways, that was a pretty sweet castle. I'm definitely gonna check out some other castles. That was England's greatest castle, but I know there's a lot in Scotland and other places. So let me know some of the other ones I should check out. And
Warwick Castle.
I'm gonna catch you guys in the next one. Peace.